Yeah, I have a kid PvP. You guys can join at any time you want. I'll be live for a couple of hours and an hour or two or more.
And I think you would just listen to what the guy has to say. It couldn't hurt. So he hands me a card. The card says BH Surgical Center. I make an appointment. I show up to this place. I get to the door. The door doesn't say BH Surgical Center. It actually says Center for the Morbidly Obese.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, that shit's not cute. So I figure I'm there, I might as well check it out. So I walk in, I go over to the receptionist, and I ask, right spot? And she was cool. She was like, yes, sir, you're in the right location. Can I ask you something? Absolutely. Why does this say Center for the Morbidly Obese on the door? The doctors prefer it that way. Why don't you have that on the card? Because then you won't come in. First time? Yeah, first time. So she hands me a clipboard, and she goes, please take this clipboard and have a seat. They'll call you in a few minutes. So I turn around and I sit down on this couch, and I start filling out the paperwork. And it wasn't like insurance forms and stuff like that. It was actually more of like a questionnaire. They ask you a bunch of questions, and you have to answer from 1 to 10 how unhealthy you think you are. And it's not going good. It's not. I'm like, oh, freaking 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 10, 9, 9, 10, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And as I'm filling out the paperwork outside the door, I hear. All of a sudden, the door opens up, and this dude walks in. Like, oh my god, you're morbid. Immediately my score got better. I'm like, shoot. I'm a 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm healthy by default. He makes his way over to the receptionist, and she's like, are you here for the 8:30? Is this your first time here? Because the doctors prefer it that way. Because then you won't come in. Oh, God. Take this clipboard and have a seat. They'll call you in a few minutes. So he turns around, and he looks at me and my sofa. And he's like, I swear it was like the opening scene to the movie Pacific Rim. He's like, I was like, no one's sitting here. Yeah, it's all you, bro.
That's right.
He turns around and he lines himself up with the sofa and he starts doing this little shuffle backwards. Now keep in mind, I see this coming towards me, right? He's like, all of a sudden the back of his knees hit the edge of the couch and you hear the click. And then free fall. And he hit. And I was like, woo! You know what I mean? Like if you're 200 pounds and you lie and say you're 195, I get it. But once you achieve a certain level of, it's pretty clear. So I said, fine. Where's it at? Excuse me? Where's it at? Where's the scale? Because I want to walk up to the scale so I can grab this stupid brick, pick it up, slide it all the way to the end, and put it down. You know the scale I'm talking about, right? The one that has that heavy arm where you get on and it's loud. I call it the scale Nazi. You get on and it's like, see, I am. She starts laughing. She goes, Mr. Iglesias, you are so silly. Actually, our scale is industrial. Anytime someone uses the word industrial and you're in the sentence, oh, you messed up. She goes, Mr. Iglesias, it's built directly into the floor. Stand on the little X. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a semi. And then she gives me instructions. She goes, yo, Mr. Iglesias, listen, stand still. I'm going to press the little button on the wall. It's going to make a sound, and then your weight is going to appear in the little window. And I'm like, make a sound? In my head, I'm like, I hope it's not, you know. So I'm bracing myself, I'm waiting, I'm like, and then she presses it, and it was actually cute. It was like a casino sound. It was like, hold on, my shoes. You're laughing, it's 3 pounds, bro. So then, she walks me into the doctor's office. I sit down, doctor walks in, and we spoke for an hour. In a nutshell, what he says is that he wants to take my stomach, which in his opinion is the size of an NFL football, and he wants to cut it and make it the size of a hard-boiled egg. Therefore, you only eat this much and you lose weight with time. The problem with gastric bypass is that if you don't stick to the program religiously, not only will you not lose weight, you will gain weight, and you'll have a series of complications. And then he asked, do you travel a lot? I'm like, I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year. He goes, this is not going to work for you. I'm like, I agree. I like 2 eggs. I said, well, what should I do? He goes, I don't know, but this isn't going to work. So I left the office. I was bummed out, you guys. I get in my car. I was so depressed because I'm like, someone told me I got 2 years to live. Surgery's my last hope. And so I started crying. I was sad. I was in the car. I'm crying. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? And the only thing that could cheer me up was a drive-thru.
Oh my.
That sounds crazy. Some of you were like, isn't that what got you in that position to begin with? Yes, but it's the only thing that makes sense. There's a reason why it's called comfort food. Think about that. Anytime you see someone eating a burger, they never look sad. They always look happy. You might look sad walking in, you might look sad walking out, but when the actual event of eating a burger is happening, life couldn't be better. That's right. My girl told me that I make sounds when I eat burgers. I didn't know. Apparently I do. I'm eating a burger and I'm like,
No.
she was like, are you eating that or are you eating that? Think about it. Who's sad when they're eating fast food? I'll tell you who's sad. The person eating a salad watching someone eat fast food. That's who's sad. So I pull up to this fast food restaurant with a big M on it. And the guy in the speaker's like, yo, can I help you? And I'm crying. I'm like, you have no idea. What I eventually wound up doing, you guys, is I started low carbing. Now, I am not eating healthy by no means, okay? I still eat fast food every single day. And people question it. How do you eat fast food and lose 100 pounds? I'll give you an example. I'll go to a burger place and I'll order a double cheeseburger. I won't eat the bread. I won't eat the onions, the tomato, the ketchup. I'll eat the meat, the cheese, the mayo, the mustard, and I'll order up to 3, like 3 diet sodas. And people go, that's unhealthy. The cholesterol's gonna kill you. Guess what? Cholesterol's gonna take 10 years to kill me. Diabetes is gonna do it in 2. Right now, I'm winning by 8.
Smart. Gabriel Iglesias is smart. I swear.
Hell yeah, that's called fluffy math, bro.
Fluffy math.
There's a lot of people mad at me right now. Fluffy found a loophole. Yes. So I started low carbing. I started doing yoga, and I know that sounds like a joke right there. Yeah, some of you are like, hey, DDP helped me, and then I started lifting weights, and it's kind of hard for me, guys, because now I have people at my shows telling me, we're noticing there's a little difference, you're a little less fluffy. What's going to happen if you keep losing weight? What are we going to call you? What are we going to call you? I lift weights, call me Buffy, I don't care. The point is that I'm not trying to lose weight for vanity's sake. I'm very secure. The point is that I'm trying to lose weight so I can be around for my family, so I can be around for my friends, and so I can be around for you. I'm not trying to preach to nobody. This is what you gotta do with your life. Hell no, if you like burgers, kill it. I'm just saying that's what I'm going through. And then people think, oh, he's trying to lose weight because he's doing movies. He wants to look better. He wants to be accepted. He wants to be accepted. No. Don't get it twisted, you guys. Don't even think that. At my highest weight of 445 pounds, the level of acceptance I had was amazing. Okay? To put it to you like this, at 445 pounds, there was women throwing themselves at me. At 445 pounds, there was men. Oh, in Bay Area, let me tell you something about gay men. I know you're in here. I saw the line. I'm going to tell you something about gay men. Gay men are very creative, they're very persistent, and they're very opportunistic when they want to achieve a mission. They're just as calculated as straight men are. I'll give you an example. I'll tell you a story, right? So, one night, Martin and I are at a bar, and we're having drinks, and that should come as no surprise. Oh, really? They were drinking? Yeah, killed it. So, as we're drinking, Martin is paying attention, and he's listening into a conversation that's happening about 15 feet away between these two girls. They're going back and forth, and one of them was like, I don't believe we finished the whole bottle. How the hell are we supposed to get home? Martin stands up, looks at me, and says, bro, I'll be back.
Pendejo.
And then it began. The hunt. Freaking. Gay men are the exact same way. They listen, they focus, they pay attention. They wait for one of the cows to get away from the rest of the herd so they can corner and strike. 4 hours later, Martin and I are at the bar, and I'm 16 shots of tequila in.
Wow.
Yeah, and I feel fantastic. And I tell Martin, bro, I don't remember the last time I had this many shots of tequila. And Martin goes, bro, you're crazy, Fluffy. You're crazy. Wait right here. I gotta pee. And so he leaves to the restroom, and I'm leaning against the bar. The bar is the only thing keeping me standing. And from across the room, this guy stands up, looks at his friends, and says, I'll be back. And then it began. The hunt. And he gets in my face and he tells me, I just have to say, I am such a huge fan of yours. Oh my God! Anytime someone says they're a huge fan of mine, it automatically makes me smile. Even more so if I've been drinking. Oh yeah, if I'm drinking, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Bro, I was so loaded, I bowed. Thank you.
Dumbass.
The guy puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, I just have to say, you have got me through some difficult time. And he stops talking and he squeezes and he goes, oh my God.
What the fuck?
Did you work out? I was so drunk, I said, a little. And he's like, oh, you can totally tell. And he squeezed again, and I said, I'm sorry, am I overstepping? No, bro, you don't understand. I'm stressed out. That felt pretty good.
That's stupid.
Rub both your shoulders and your back and scratch it, because I will. Hey, go for it.
No.
He grabs me by the shoulders, you guys. He grabs me by the shoulders and he turns me around. Now I'm facing the bartender, and the bartender is trying to warn me. The bartender's like, hello, hello, hello.
No way.
I'm so drunk, I'm like, this guy is working my neck well. I'm like, it feels so good, I push off the bar. At that moment, Martin returns from the restroom. He doesn't stop it, he doesn't say a word. As far as I know, Machete is taking notes. The guy turns me back around and he says, I just have to say, if you were mine, I would cook for you every single
I'm crying. That's stupid.
At that moment, Martin cuts into the conversation like a referee at the end of a bad fight, and he hugs me and he holds me and he goes, dude. And I go, dude. And then I looked at the guy, hey, what can you cook? And Martin shook me, get out, what? And he drags me away. And I go, Martin, what are you doing, bro? You can't do that, that's rude. He goes, dude, that guy was trying to hook up with you. No, Martin, no. Trying to feed me. Why you always food blocking, bro? I'm your friend, Gabriel. You're not my friend. You're not my friend. When's the last time you rubbed my shoulders, huh? When's the last time you said, Fluffy, I'll cook for you? You don't cook for me. You make me throw away muffins. We're arguing so hard, you guys. Now this guy thinks we're working.
Oh,
Oh my God, I'm such a homewrecker. And then he ran. The point to that story is, I started losing weight for health reasons.
okay.
Some of you are like, you went a little far for that. Poquito. What I think is funny is that now people are questioning my shows. They're like, well, what is Gabriel going to talk about if he continues to lose weight? What's he going to talk about? I'm like, seriously, between the amount of crazy friends that I have and the amount of alcohol I drink on a regular basis and the amount of crazy random places we visit, I will always have stories for you guys. Random stories.
There you go, love. Fluffy.
Stories no one else has. Stories like Martin and I just got back from India. Yeah. So let me tell you, I started posting on Facebook and Twitter that we were going to go out there to do these shows. And then people started sending me messages questioning what I was going to do. First of all, are they going to understand you in India? Will they understand English okay? Will they be able to follow along with your stories? Once we got there, I come to find out that more people speak English in India than in all of the US and Canada put together. Might as well throw Mexico in there for extra credit.
Oh my God.
Because there's that many people, and yes, they have the internet. They got the internet, they got Bollywood, they got Hollywood. They understand American culture so much more than we understand theirs. Second thing, people tried to warn me about going over there. Gabriel, be careful. India is a third world country. Don't drink the water in India. It contains parasites that'll make you really sick. Don't eat the food from the street, people, especially the street meat. It contains a parasite that'll make you really sick. And most importantly, there's a lot of crime over there. Don't stay out late. When the sun goes down, you go down.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it that bad? Parasites. So I'm like, let me get this straight. There's a lot of crime. Don't stay out late. Don't eat any of the food from the street vendors. And don't drink the water. Why does that sound familiar?
What?
That's Mexico!
Oh my God.
When Martin and I got over there, we found out that Indian people especially the food. The food is so similar. For example,
Mexicans.
Mexicans love tortillas. Indian people love naan bread, which is a fluffier form of a tortilla.
I know.
Mexicans love chicken. Indians love chicken. Mexicans love hot and spicy. Indians invented hot and spicy. Most popular drink in Mexico is Fanta. Most popular drink in India is Fanta. Indian people worship cows. Mexicans love barbecues.
Oh, that is
A lot
true.
of similarities. Most of the people that I met over there were very hardworking and humble. And I gotta tell you, every time I talk to someone, I was always greeted the same way. They'd look at me, they put their hands together, they do a little bow, and they say, Namaste, which is an endearing
Hello.
It's really nice and sweet. And then I noticed that Indian people, when you're talking to them, do this thing with their head, where it will begin to move side to side as they're speaking. Now, at first, when you notice it, you think, oh, you slapped wrong. You just gotta keep in a snack. Repeat it. Now, when they start speaking, their head starts moving. And I noticed this. The guy is checking us into the hotel, and he's really cool. He's like, listen, if you have any problems at all, okay, you call the front desk, you press 0, we will send somebody to your room to help you. Whatever you need, we got it for you right here, okay? It's very good. Now, one thing I notice is the more they talk and the more excited Indian people get, the more the head starts to move around. Somebody at the hotel yelled out to the clerk, that's Fluffy. And the guy was like, oh my God, I don't believe it. I can do that. I thought it was you. I thought it was you. Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is so crazy. Oh my God, Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluffy. Even crazier than that is that the mouth is actually connected to the neck. When the mouth stops moving, the head stops wherever the mouth left off. And when you see Indian people talking to each other, you can see it. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, okay, hold on, wait, hold on, wait, okay. Like if you're Indian and you stutter, you are so screwed. Somebody stop it! I'm not gonna lie, you guys. When I first saw this happen, I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was funny.
I did too. I
Then I
did.
started thinking about it. Head movement is just a form of expression. No matter where you live in this world, people express themselves in their own unique way, whether through facial expressions, hand gestures, body movement, extra words. Everywhere you go, things are different, and that's just how they express themselves in India. Now back to the whole Indians-Mexican thing. That is something else that we share in common with Indian people. Head movement. Now some of you in the building tonight are like, stupid, we don't have head movement. Yes, we do. It's a little different. See, with Indian people, the head movement is side to side. Mexicans, our head movement is front to back.
Hola. Hola. No, I'm Mexican.
With Mexicans, we have to be very, very upset in order for you to see the head movement. Otherwise, you can't tell. With Indians, it's all the time. Oh, today is such a nice day. It is such a beautiful day today. I'm so happy.
But Ravi.
Mexicans, when we're mad, that's when it comes out. For non-Latinos, hey, trust me, you cut off a Mexican in traffic, see what happens.
That is true. That is true. That's true. That's too true. That's too true. That is so true.
That's funny. I don't know why the black people are laughing. You guys take it all. Oh no, you didn't. Oh hell no. I know he ain't talking about me. I hit a bell. I hit a bell. I made myself dizzy doing it. So let me tell you guys, if you ever get the opportunity to travel to India, I encourage you to check it out. You are going to see some beautiful things. You are going to see some amazing things. You are going to see some sad, depressing things and some real horrible things. Overall, it's a well-balanced trip. But when you get back home here to the United States, you will have a whole different appreciation for your life. Believe that. I guarantee this, guys. There's a lot of people in India And with a lot of people comes a lot of traffic. First things first, American traffic and Indian traffic, very different.
Really?
Here, whatever happens on the freeway will stop the whole freeway. In India, there's 10 times the traffic, but it moves. See, the problem is Americans, we're fascinated by accidents. We're fascinated by the idea of seeing potential death. That's why we slow down on the freeways. We say we don't want to see it, but what happens in traffic? You know, what's going on over there? There doesn't even have to be a collision. You could be on the 101 freeway and a car has a tire blow out and it spins. Doesn't hit anything. It's now facing oncoming traffic. You know what happens to the rest of the freeway? Even on the other freeway where there's no accident. And again, what's going on? What's going on? I'm sorry, somebody might be dead. Sorry. In India, if there's an accident in the middle of the street, you know what they do? They drive right around it.
What?
They don't stop. And it's not that they're not sensitive to the situation. They are. It's just that there's so much chaos that happens on a regular basis. They just need to get to work. They do see what's happening. And believe me, they're heartfelt. You know, they'll drive around. I'm so sorry for you. Nothing stops the flow of traffic in India. They need to get from point A to point B. And so they go. If there's an accident, they drive around. If there's something blocking the street, they get on the sidewalk to go around. It's amazing the way they drive. And here's something else. No one uses turn signals over there. No one uses turn signals. They use a horn. Now, if you go to India tomorrow, from the time you get there to the time you leave, you're constantly going to hear a horn. It's an actual language when people are driving. I'll show you. You're driving? Car on your right. Car on your left. Light up ahead. They talk to each other while they're driving, and they barely miss each other every single time. Also, you'll be on the 101 freeway here, and there'll be 6 lanes. In India, you'll see 6 lanes, but guess what? You'll see 12 cars across. Yes, they have lines, but they're basically there to let you know more or less the direction you might want to go in. They're this close to each other. And even at the light, they communicate. You see everything. Cars, trucks, vans, motorcycles, pedestrians, cows, children, all waiting for the light. And they talk at the light with the horn. Very good, you can go, you can go. Welcome, you're welcome, go, go. Nothing stops the flow of traffic over there. Indian people drive, think of ants. You know how ants travel in a straight line? And if there's something in the way like a rock, ants will split up, go around the rock and reunite, or climb over the rock. Worst case scenario, they go home and go under the rock. That's the mentality of driving in India. A man can get shot in the middle of the street. People just look at each other. Somebody pick him up. People drag his ass onto the sidewalk. And if there's an accident and they need to get around, guess what's going to happen to that guy on the sidewalk? Nothing stops the flow of traffic in India except a cow. Now, I know we've always heard the stories and the jokes about, oh, Indian people don't eat hamburgers. I asked a question and I found out. It's believed that cows are people who have died and they've been reincarnated and their new life is now a cow, which is why they don't eat them and why they give them all the love and respect in the world over there. I saw this firsthand. There's a cow crossing the street while we're driving. And the cows know. They're cocky. They know that they can cross. And the cows out there all cocky. No one honks at the cows. No one yells at the cows. No one touches the cows. They wait for the cows to finish crossing. The cow that we had laid down. The driver just shut off the car. Started tweeting. There is a cow in the middle of the street. Hashtag Momo. I asked the driver, sir, there is a cow. I see that there's a cow. Are you gonna honk at it, go around? What's gonna happen? We cannot honk at the cow. We must wait for the cow to move. You're kidding. I am not kidding. We must wait for the cow. We drove past a dead body 15 minutes ago. That is probably him.
That is probably him.
Like seriously, the driving situation over there is so intense, you guys. One morning while we're there, I needed to get to the airport fast because I overslept. And so I get in the cab and I hand the driver a $50 bill. And I go, sir, I am running very late. I need to get to the airport as soon as possible. Whatever side street you have to take or back road, I'm all for it. Whatever you have to do, let's do it. And I hand him the money. And he goes, very good, let's go. And we take off. The guy is hitting anywhere from 50 to 70 miles an hour on the street. We are making incredible time. I notice that we're heading in the direction of a red light. You ever been in a car with someone and you're paying attention to what's going on and you notice that you're about to hit a red light and you know how you start to mentally and physically prepare yourself for the deceleration of the car, and you start anticipating the pressure from the brake, and if you don't get the sensation of slowing down by a certain point, all alarms go off in your head and you sock the driver in the chest. Hey! Not only did I not get the sensation of slowing down, I got the opposite. He gunned it towards the light. And it caught me off guard. I couldn't even scream. I was like, and then I got air. Hey! Pull over! Pull over! He didn't even know what he did. He looks at me, he goes, what is wrong?
Yeah.
What do you mean, what is wrong? Dude, didn't you see the red light? As calm as can be. Didn't you see? There was no one there. You told me, whatever you have to do, okay? Whatever you have to do, you do. Do you want to yell or do you want to make plain? He made a good point. I sounded like a third grader. I want to make plain. Like, seriously, that's a video game I want to see. I want to see Grand Theft Auto India. Since my last special, I gotta tell you something about my son Frankie. He now wears deodorant. Now, for the rest of you that are watching right now, wondering what is he talking about, and the people watching the movie go, I don't get this. Let me explain. In my last special, I made reference to my son Frankie and how he refuses to regularly put deodorant on. And so I told him, if you don't start doing it, I'm going to put your business on TV. And your friends are going to see me talking about you, and they're going to check you for me. Sure enough, my last special airs. The next day, Frankie goes to school, and those kids were merciless. He came home, he takes off his backpack, he unzips it, and he dumps out like 17 deodorants. See what you did! I was like, wow, look at all the money we just saved. His mom was impressed. She was like, talk about how he needs towels. Hell yeah, he's gonna get towels. And it's funny because, you know, for me to relate to my son, it's a little challenging, you guys. And it's not that I can't relate to a teenager, because I can. I can relate to almost any age. You know, I got people that brought kids here tonight. The problem is that my son doesn't see me as an entertainer. He sees me as the guy that tells him to take a shower, put on deodorant, you know, stop picking your nose. That's me. His friends, on the other hand, I'm like a god to his friends. Every time I drop off Frankie at school now, I pull up and the kids see my car. They freak out and they run over to it and they put their hands on it like it's a shrine. They touch the car like freaking Selena está aquí. You know? Some of you got that. Gracias. Anyway,
Fluffy, fluffy.
And Frankie's in the front seat, pissed. He's pissed. He's like, this is bullshit. Dude, don't get mad at me because I'm more popular than you at your school. Little hater. He gets out of the car all mad. They're still chanting. The thing is that our worlds are very different. His world revolves around Grand Theft Auto, the video game, YouTube, and girls.
Oh my God.
He's really good at 2 of those. The other one, not so much. And it's not that I'm trying to be a hater about it. It's just that I tell Frankie, listen, you need to start having more conversations. You need to become more talkative and interact like this. See, he'd rather text than talk. That's his whole thing. I'm like, dude, you gotta learn, start to talk to me. I wish you would talk to me more. You could learn a lot about talking by talking to me. I'm just saying, I only do it professionally. But no, he'd rather text. It's at the point now where if I'm in the house and I yell, Frankie, did you take out the trash? Nothing. All of a sudden, ding.
Yeah.
My phone. And if I say, I got money for you, freaking Houdini, right? Hello. Because he can't text cash. That's my big thing right now. I just want him to take out the trash. He's 16 years old now. He should have been doing this since he was 10, but better late than never. And what he does is he'll sit in the living room and he tunes out the rest of the house. He sits there and he'll put on these headphones that I got him for Christmas a couple of years ago. These Beats with the freaking studio button, and it cuts out all of the sound. They are so strong that when he starts watching his YouTube videos, he can't hear himself laugh. And for me, that is the funniest thing in the world. I'm in the other room and I can hear him. This is what I hear. Room like, who brought the German? And so I walk out into the living room and I see Frankie and he's laughing at his phone and I gotta flag him down. He'll take him off. What's up, guy? I go, Frankie, can you do me a favor? Can you please take out the trash? Okay. And then he puts it back on. What?
No.
I go, yes. Now, you asked me for a ride, it's because you need a ride when you ask for a ride, not later. And then he says, where are we going? Just take out the trash! And then he doesn't. He takes out the trash, but he acts like he's doing me the biggest favor in the world. And he stares me down and he doesn't break eye contact. He's like, and then I'll hold the bag over the can and he makes a sound. So much drama. It's crazy. I'd like to have normal conversations with him, but usually I gotta take it that far for us to interact. I look forward to conversations, even if it's something small and minute. At least it gives me a chance to trigger another conversation with him. I look forward to a few things. I look forward to December, because in December, Frankie becomes very chatty. Otherwise, he's one-word kid. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. Kids, one-word kid. You try to talk to him, hey, how's your day? Good. You have any homework? Yeah. You gonna do it? Maybe. You hungry? Mm-hmm. What do you want? Food.
That's so true.
Usually that's what I get. But December rolls around, and guess what December is? December is when he becomes very chatty because he has an agenda. All of a sudden, he goes from one-word kid to very like, hey, how's your week, Dad? You doing good? Yeah, how are the shows?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you need anything?
That is so true.
I needed this in July, just saying. And I know it's fake, but at least, once again, it allows me to put my real conversation on top of his fake one. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. In addition to that, I look forward to problems. I like problems. Because if there's problems, Frankie and I can work on it together to find a solution, right? And I see that as a great form of bonding. Now, don't get me wrong, you guys. Sometimes it's expensive. Yeah, you're laughing. Let me tell you. Like one time they took his iPhone from school. And he comes home and he's all devastated, right? He's like, Dad, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, what? Tell me what? They stole my phone. I'm like, that's why you're talking. And I started laughing. It was just not funny. I go, so what happened, Frankie? So they broke into my locker at school, they took my iPhone, they took my friend's iPhone, and if we go to the school right now, we can fill out a report. We know exactly who did it. Can we go to the school right now? I go, listen, Frankie, I'd love to, but I'm really, really tired. I just got off a flight, and I just, I'm really, really tired. I promise you tomorrow morning I'll take you early, I'll help you fill out the report, and we'll turn it in. Can we go right now? I go, Frankie, seriously, I'm just, please, tomorrow. I need my phone. I go, listen, Frankie, you can handle one day without your phone. He's not getting his way, so he turns around and he yells at the ground and he goes, they took my phone! I looked at him and said, hey, you took my freedom. You don't hear me screaming. Just accept it and we move on. That's it. So then he asked, what's going to happen? I go, well, I'm going to go upstairs, take a shower, and probably go to bed. No, what's going to happen if I don't get my phone back? I go, that's a good question, Frankie. I don't know. You're not going to give me a new one? No, dude, I already got you a phone. It was your responsibility to take care of that phone. It's not fair. I go, life's not fair, Frankie, okay? But things happen. You should give me a phone. Dude, seriously? And then he looks at me and he says, and this kind of messed with me, he goes, you should give me a phone. It's nothing for you to give me a new phone.
Oh.
It's nothing for you to
2,
give me
3,
a
4,
new phone.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Bay Area, my son thinks that what I do is easy. He thinks it's easy because all he sees when he attends 1 or 2 shows per year is that I walk out on stage, you guys start chanting, and then cool shit magically appears in his room.
I'll do funny 1, 2, 3, 4.
He doesn't realize that this is actually a job and there's sacrifice that comes along with it. So I told him, I said, listen, Frankie, how about this? How about you explain to me why I should get you a new phone? And if it makes sense, I'll do it right now. Go. I need one.
Oh my god.
I said, no, Frankie, you're a teenager. You don't need a phone. A cell phone for a
1,
teenager
2.
isn't a necessity. It's a luxury, okay? It's not a necessity. It's a luxury.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
He says, what if there's an emergency? I go, like what? Someone taking your phone? What did you do today when they took your phone? I went to the
1, 2, 3, 4,
cafeteria, I
5.
talked to my friend Angel, and he let me use his phone.
7,
And I called my
8,
mom, and I go, guess what? If that doesn't work, you can go to the office and let them know. There's a family emergency. Please contact my mom or my dad. Next. What if you need to get a hold of me? I know what's
6,
legal
7,
to do.
8.
What about when I'm walking home? I know the route that you take. And then he pulled this one out. One of the greatest lines ever. You know what? You talk a lot about me on TV. People know who I am now. What if someone tries to kidnap me?
Oh my god.
I said, you weigh 225. Good luck. You're not kidnapping your ass without an iPhone and a box of Oreos. That's the only way that's going to happen. I said, Frankie, do you realize how lucky you are? You had a phone. I didn't have a phone in
1,
school. Your
2,
mom didn't have a
3,
phone in
4.
school. If we needed to make a phone call, we had to carry change. Or we had to call collect. What's that? Oh my God.
3,
Trying to
5,
concept of
6,
collect call for a
7,
kid is like
8.
trying to explain rocket science. He'll never have to deal with it. He'll never know what it's like to be out late somewhere and have to use a phone. First of all, to find a payphone. If you see a payphone now, you look at it like, oh wow, they forgot to take it down. Get your camera, take a picture, because that shit's gone. Take a picture.
3, 4, 5.
He'll never know
4,
about staying out
5.
late at night and having to use one of
6,
those
7,
nasty
8,
phones,
9,
taking
10,
off that
11,
receiver,
12,
you know, the
13.
nasty one that has gum and gonorrhea all over, right? And you gotta keep it far away from your face so you don't get infected. And then you make that phone call, you know that freaking, when you make a collect call back in the day, it was expensive. He's not gonna have to do that now. Back in the
3,
day, if you made a
4,
collect call, it
5,
was a
6.
mission. It was a mission and it was
2,
expensive.
3.
If you called my mom collect, it better have been life or death.
18,
That's what it
19.
was gonna be.
Wait, 1, 2,
You
3.
called my mom back in the day, we were
1,
on welfare
2,
and
3.
Section 8. Every penny counted. You call her up, hello, and then she get the presentation. AT&T. Do you accept a collect call from caller?
1, 2, 3.
At the tone, say only your name. You had to get creative. Mom, it's me, Big Nip, 7-Eleven, 6 year help, let me buy. Do you accept the charges? Hell no, I'm on my way, mijo.
wait, hold on. I can't stop laughing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And if you couldn't get the whole message out, you had to call back, do that whole process all over again, and then say another sentence until they cut you off. I told Frankie we call that ghetto texting. Because he'll never have to do it. The problem is that my son is very spoiled, and I realize that it's my fault. It's 100% my fault. When he first came into my life, when he was 7 years old, he was very appreciative. Everything was thank you. Everything was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big old hug. Thank you, I love you, thank you. And what I did was that I started giving him stuff, and I never expected anything for it. And you know, with me, I was always like, you know, I work really hard to have nice things. And is it a crime that I want my family to have nice things? I figure, you know what, I went through a lot. I just want my son to have the best. But you can't always give them everything, because then they don't learn to appreciate and value things. And I had to find out the hard way. It takes a lot for me to tell you guys that, by the way. This is freaking messed up. My girl pointed it out. She goes, you're messing up. I go, what am I doing now? She goes, you don't let them earn anything. You don't let them try. You don't let them make an attempt to try to work towards something. So, of course, he doesn't appreciate things. And it was very evident last month. Now, birthday time, I bought him a pair of Jordans. Not just a regular pair of Jordans. They were a special collector's edition pair of Jordans. You know, the kind
I
of
don't care about
Jordans
Jordans.
people wait in line the night before just so they can buy these shoes, except I did it because I got the hookup. Yeah.
Oh my God.
She was $180 pair of shoes. And
Shit, that's a
a
lot.
lot of jokes. So, I didn't even wrap them. Okay, I put them on the box, and I waited for him to walk in the room. And I'm standing there, and he walks in, I go, happy birthday, and he sees the shoes. He looks at the shoes, and all he says is, cool. That's it, cool. Sometimes I'll get lucky, he'll say it twice. Cool, cool. And then he walks around to see what other presents there are. And I told his mom, did you see that? Did you see? Don't get mad. I told you, you don't let him earn anything. Now that's why he acts that way. He expects things. And I want to get upset, but she's absolutely right. He's at the point now of spoiled where he walks up to me and he goes, Dad, I'm really bored with my Nintendo Wii. Can I give it to my friend Angel? Well, what did you just say? I'm bored with my Nintendo Wii. Can I give it away? I go, is it broken? No. How long have you had it? 4 years. I go, how many games do you have for the Nintendo Wii? Like 300? I can feel you judging me over there. You're judging me right now. I can feel it. Over there, she's like, this is some Dr. Phil shit right here. Really messed up on. I heard you. Let me just for the record, let me set this straight, okay? I did not buy my son 300 games. Here's what happened. I have a friend who's a computer hacker, and for $75, he put 300 games on my son's hard drive. Yes, I have money, but I'm still ghetto. Oh, yeah. So I tell Frankie, do you realize how lucky you are? And then he rolls his eyes. Oh, lucky. I go, yeah, dude, you are. I says, you got a Nintendo Wii that works. You've had it for 4 years, and it still works. If something happens to it, I can take it back to the store, get you a new one, because I got a warranty that'll last you another 4 years. Why is that a big deal? Because when I was your age, I had a Nintendo. No. Frankie, in 1987, I had a thing called a Nintendo Entertainment System. Okay?
I don't know what that is, but I know, I guess.
Nintendo Entertainment System. It didn't last 4 years. It lasts 90 days. 90 days is what it took for you to hit power and start seeing a flashing red screen. You know the flashing red screen where you have to look at the ground or look away or you have a seizure right then and there? Yeah. And then what you had to do is you had to flip the Nintendo over and there was a silver sticker with an 800 number on it. And you call the 800 number and they put you in contact with someone in Japan who made you feel like a pendejo. Oh yeah, he made you feel stupid. You call him up and he's like, it costs $250 to repair Nintendo. $250 to fix it, but it's $150 for a brand new one. And if you couldn't afford $150 for a brand new one, like you couldn't afford $150 for a brand new one, you had to become a technician at the age of 7, 8, You were gonna perform an operation and bring that Nintendo back to life. You had to work to play. You had to unplug it, plug it back in, power reset, power reset, power reset. It was like performing CPR. You'd hold a cartridge and then it was like you push it down, you push it up, you push it down, you push it up, push it down, you push it up, push it down, you push it up. Give it oxygen. And if you were lucky, you'd hear the magical sound. Dun, 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 dun. It's alive!
That is how I spent mom later.
You were more happy about making your game work than actually playing it back in the day. Frankie will never know about having to repair his game system in order to play it. He'll never have to deal with the cartridge. He barely has to touch the disc. Most of the games now, you stream it through Wi-Fi. And if the Wi-Fi's messing up, you're not gonna fix Wi-Fi the same way you fix an old school Nintendo cartridge. That doesn't work. Wi-Fi's out. Hold on. Try it again. You can't touch Wi-Fi. Gadgets and devices now are so delicate and sensitive. You can't touch anything. Everything requires a specialist or a technician to come over and fix it. Back in the day, gadgets and appliances work so much better when you apply just a little violence to them. You didn't have to call a repair person. If you had a big screen TV and there was lines going through the middle, how would you fix it? Right? And what happened? Ta-da!
I bet.
Let you try that method tonight on a flat screen and see what happens. Stupid flat screen. Shit, broke it! Come on, let's go. I tell Frankie, you are so lucky you're in an age of technology that's amazing. You don't have to worry. I want him to get it. I want him to understand. I want him to appreciate. But at the same time, I gotta learn to freaking check myself. Sometimes he says things. Sometimes he says things to me, and sometimes they sound a little rude or hurtful.
But
For example, every Monday when I go home, every Monday night I go home, and I always take my family out. It's always movie night. I love movie night on Mondays. There's no lines. You go in, you go out, good parking, it's sweet. And I always tell Frankie before we go out, hey, 1 hour, we're leaving, okay? 1 hour. Make sure you're ready, okay? Good, good. And then I go in the room and I take a nap. And sometimes I oversleep. And so an hour and a half later, Frankie comes over to the room. He pounds on the door. Door. And I wake up, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, Frankie? I thought you said we were leaving in an hour. What happened to an hour? I don't get mad. I don't yell. I just look at him and I say, please forgive me, sir. I do apologize. As soon as I am done washing the horses, I shall take the carriage to your quarters, sir.
I don't get it. It's funny because I know my song.
Why are you talking to me like that? I'm speaking to you this way because you're speaking to me like I'm an asshole, sir. And I should not tolerate such behavior coming from my offspring that is technically not mine. Do you have anything else, sir? Can my friends go with us to the movies? Oh, the vultures are here! Oh, they are here to pick at the fruit of my labor. Absolutely, Frankie. Is there anything else? What are you gonna do? I'm going in the room, sir. To do what? I'm going to defile your mother, Frankie. She's been quite chatty, and someone must put her in her place. I stumbled on gold that night. I stumbled on gold, you guys. When I said that about his mom, I found out that Frankie is very sensitive about his mom. And he's at the age right now where affection really bothers him.
I know.
Not necessarily from me, because if I try to hug him, he's cool with it, because I give those quick bro hugs, you know, like, hey, what's up, you know? However, if his mom is standing right next to me, and I reach over and I grab her hand, he sees that as gross, and he'll make the face. What? The hand? That's gross, Dad. I go, that's not gross, Frankie. That's not gross. Baby, open your mouth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3,
That's his
1.
weak spot, and I go for it every single time. One day I was ironing one of my shirts that I was gonna put on, right? I'm ironing the shirt and I'm talking to him about his grades. As I'm talking to him about his grades, there's a car driving in front of the house, and the stereo was really loud, and you could feel the bass. So I started dancing. Oh yeah. Frankie starts laughing, right? And it felt good. I was making my son laugh. But then he starts pointing. He starts pointing. Why are you pointing? Because you're fat. Your fat's going everywhere.
You think?
Your fat's going everywhere. I go, really? My fat's going everywhere? Well, guess what? This fat is your mom for me.
That's so hilarious.
And he's like, ah! If I ask him to do something and he doesn't do it, like for example, as parents, you want your kids to go to sleep by a certain time because you need them to wake up in time to get ready for school. Frankie's cutoff is 11 o'clock. It's pretty late, if you ask me, for a kid. Sometimes we'll push it to midnight. You know, play dumb. Oh, I don't know what time it was. Yeah, whatever. You're only holding a clock. But I get it. I used to play dumb too. So then he'll say, good night, Dad. He'll close the door. He thinks he's slick. He takes a towel and he starts rolling up the towel and he puts it under the door so that I can't see the light coming from the TV. Sounds pretty genius, right? But hello, cover the rest of the stupid door. He freaking turns on his big ass TV and it looks like immigration's breaking into his bedroom. And so what happens is he'll stay up until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's supposed to wake up at 6. His alarm goes off, and he sleeps through the alarm. And it's a real alarm. It's not a radio. It's freaking whole house awake. Him. And it's right here. So I gotta get out of bed, and I go into his room, and I open the door, and I kick the stupid towel away, and then I walk over, you know. Yell, Frankie! Nothing. So I shake him. Frankie, wake up! When I shake my son in the morning, it makes him eat in his sleep. So you know what I do? I get on top of the bed and I slowly lay on top of it. And I apply my full weight, bro. All of it. Slowly. And you can hear him. Oh God! Oh God! You're too big! You're too big! And then I whisper in his ear.
Oh my God, I'm crying. Oh my God.
I know one day my son is gonna write a book called Fluffy's Full of Shit. It's kind of crazy. I talked to his mom. I talked to Frankie's mom, and she tells me, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't get mad. The reason why you and Frankie are always butting heads is because you guys are basically the same person. And I go, we are not the same person. She goes, your mannerisms are the same. The way you guys think is the same. You're moody in the same way. It's the same. And keep in
Mother,
mind,
let's done.
Frankie's technically my stepson. So my girl insisting this, that we're the same. I'm like, hello, I wasn't there at the beginning. But no, she insists. You guys are the same. And I started analyzing our lives. I started analyzing Frankie's life, and I started analyzing my life, and I started realizing that, you know what? Our lives run on these crazy parallels. I'm gonna tell you guys something. In all my previous specials, I'd always talk about my mom. My mom. I never really made references about my dad because my dad wasn't there when I was growing up. And I made a joke one time about how my mom said that my dad was a mariachi, which is true, and that he was the guy that was in the bottle of hot sauce.
Really?
My dad was a tapatio guy. So, after that, people started asking questions about my dad. And so like, so what's the story with say the same thing. I said, well, if my dad wanted to see me, I'd tell him he has to buy a ticket. That was the go-to line. If my dad wants to see me, I'll tell him to buy a ticket. I'll tell him to buy a ticket. If my dad wants to see me 30 years later, I'm going to have him buy a ticket. I said this for over 7 years. And guess who bought a ticket? Bay Area, it's about to get real. Oh, let me tell you this one. So, I'm doing a show at a comedy club in LA called the Comedy Magic Club. And it's about a 250-seat room. And the manager, Richard, comes up to me before I go on stage. And he goes, hey, listen, Gabe, your dad's in the back of the room. We pay for his drinks and his food. What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, your dad's in the back. We're paying for his food and drinks. I go, listen, I haven't seen my dad in over 30 years. That's somebody trying to get free food and drinks. Cut him off. Don't pay for anything. Got it, bro. So I go up on stage, I start doing my thing, no problem, the show goes over very well. I wind up outside after the show and I'm doing a meet and greet, I'm taking pictures, I'm signing DVDs. My dad goes out and gets in line with the rest of the fans to try to meet me like that. And my manager goes to the back of the line and she comes up to me and she goes, listen, Gabe, the guy that's at the back of the line, I have a feeling that could be your dad. I go, really? You too? Why? I saw his ID. Gabe is his name. Jesus.
What happened? Ma. Okay, why?
turns around and he looks at me. And he waves. And it freaked me out, you guys. In addition to freaking me out, he's holding one of my DVDs, which really messed me up because I've been signing DVDs all night. What was I gonna put on his? You know, hey, where you been? So she gets his info, gives it to me. I give the info to my girlfriend, right? And I finish the meet and greet. We get in the car, we go back home. I'm not saying anything. I'm shaking, I'm sweating.
I got NPC'd in Minecraft. So what happened? Yeah, I'm bored too. I was AFK. I was helping my mom. I was supporting the show named Gabriel Iglesias named Fluffy. It's funny. His comedy show is funny as hell. Made me cry. What? Where? Oh, okay. My Warzone is done installing. I know, I've been streaming for like a couple of hours. I said I'll stop streaming in a couple of hours, I said. On my stream, I said that. I started streaming at 10. Sooner or later, I'm gonna make this into a world that people are gonna love to join. I have a structure void that's not even in the game. I have a spawn SMP. Spawn NPC. I have a ton of stuff that I haven't tried out. The NPCs I always wanted to just. Structure log, I use some of the structure log. I'm building another. You should watch Gabriel Iglesias, he's hilarious. JoJo's Adventure. I'm already 1 hour in and I'm freaking so much fun.
I'm My girl goes, you okay? I said, listen, you know what? I've been playing the scenario in my head for over 30 years. What would I do if he ever showed up? And I says, I thought I was prepared to handle this, and I'm not. I'm freaking out. And she goes, baby, listen, how about we sleep on it and we'll figure this out together tomorrow. Just sleep on it. Try to relax. And I'm like, that's a good idea. So we get in bed. She knocks out, and I can't sleep. And 3 o'clock in the morning rolls around, and I said, I can't take it anymore. So I wake up my girl, I said, baby, get up. What is it? What? I go, listen, call him. Right now? I go, yes. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. That's disrespectful. I'm like, hello, who waited 30 years?
Oh, that's funny.
So she gets on the phone, and she calls my dad. And he answered on the first ring. And I could hear him talking, going back and forth. And then she hangs up the phone and she says, listen, baby, your dad wants me to let you know that he doesn't want any money. He doesn't want any money. He doesn't want anything from you.
Yeah, because Gabriel Iglesias' dad was a mariachi.
So he can ask you a couple of questions and hopefully answer some questions. Me personally, I think you need closure because you're messed up. My girl keeps it real. So I said, listen, call him back. Let him know that I want to see him today at the comedy club where we met. She goes, fine. So she calls him back. She hangs up the phone. And she goes, okay, baby, I confirmed it. 7 o'clock at the comedy club. Can we get some sleep now? And I go, listen, I got to do something. She goes, what? And I get out of bed and I walk over to the living room. And in the living room, I have a giant mirror. Okay, and this giant mirror, I get in front of it and I start rehearsing the speech I'm about to have with my dad that I haven't seen in over 30 years. Now keep in mind, you guys, this is the only thing I've ever really rehearsed. I can't rehearse this because I don't know if it's funny or not until you laugh at it. Seriously, I could stand in front of the mirror all day.
Oh, God.
Apparently that shit is... I'll try it again tomorrow. So I'm in front of the mirror, I'm very emotional, and my whole chest is bright red because I'm doing the stupid emotional macho thing. I'm standing there and I'm doing this. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And my girlfriend grabs me. She grabs me, baby, calm down. And I snapped on her. I said, listen, this is the only way I know how to handle this, okay? Just give me a little bit of space. I promise you tomorrow I'll be a better person, but this is the only way I know how to deal with this. Please understand. And she was like, I get it. No worries. I'm in the room if you need me. And so she goes in the room and I keep freaking yelling, emotional, screaming. And later on she told me that I guess I was being really loud with the screams and the hitting. And I woke up Frankie. And she says that Frankie came in the living room and he hears freaking yelling and hits and pops, and so he got scared and he sees me standing there in front of the mirror and I'm hitting myself and he freaked out. He was like, I better take out the trash.
What the fuck? Never knew that was gonna happen.
Now don't get me wrong, it's hysterical now, but at that moment I didn't notice it and I didn't care. My focus is what am I gonna say to this man? So I'm freaking preparing myself.
I get it.
Finally, okay, 6:45 rolls around. My girl and I get in the car and we head over to the comedy club. We get there about 15 minutes late, and you know what? I'm like, you know what? That's cool. I'm glad we're late. This way I'll just walk into the club, I'll look at him, and I'll start talking. We pull up to the front. I get out of the car. I start walking up towards the sidewalk. My dad is also 15 minutes late, and he's walking up the curb. It caught me off guard because I wasn't planning on meeting him on the street. I was going to meet him inside. So now I froze. I'm like, He looks at me and he does this. He goes,
Mijo, oh no.
And for me, I'm like, you know what? No, you can't do this. You can't show up after 30 years and expect to hug me. In my head, I'm like, do I hug him or do I hit him? And if my girl wouldn't have been there, I'd have laid his ass out. You don't do that to a kid. And seriously, you guys, you can't. And you can't just show up.
I don't get it, but...
And so my girl's looking at me and she sees the situation from different eyes. So she's like, you know what, just and I'm like, ugh. So I walk over to him and I put my arms around him. And I'll be honest with you guys, it was the emptiest hug I have ever given anyone. And I'm hugging him and he starts crying in my ear. And when he starts crying in my ear, I pushed him off. And I go, no, don't even try that, no. And he's like, no, sorry. And I go, turn around, go inside. And he's like, okay. So he turns around and he goes inside. And I start shaking. And my girl's like, you okay? I go, I'm freaking out right now. She goes, baby, just breathe. I'm like, I'm trying to breathe and relax. And he walks in. 5 minutes go by. And I go, all right, here we go. I walk inside. I see him sitting down, and I walk right up to him, and I go, "Who do you think you are?" My girlfriend grabbed me. "Baby, calm down. Hey, you saw me doing the shit at the house?" And I started laying into my dad. I started asking all the questions. Why? Where were you? What happened? Did you even try? What was going on in your life that was so important? And what really bothered me was the fact that he had a solid answer for every single question I hit him with, because I compared him to notes from my mom and my sisters. And more than anything, I just wanted to vent. I wanted to yell. I wanted to cuss. I wanted to scream. I wanted to get physical, and he wasn't giving me that opportunity. So I started making stuff up. I was like, "You know what, Dad? My mom was mean to me because of you."
Oh my God.
"Well, you know something, mijo? Your mother had to do whatever she had to do to raise you right. Look how good you turned out." I was like, "Oh, he's good."
That's so funny.
Apparently he has a mirror too. So I kept hitting him with more questions, and he kept coming back with solid answers. Eventually, I got to the point where I started asking the same questions over and over again to see if maybe I'd get a different answer. And it started becoming redundant. I'm like, I'm just going in circles. Next thing I know, my dad starts cracking jokes. I'm like, "Seriously? 30 years and now you're cracking jokes?" And it's not so much that he was cracking jokes that bothered me. It's the fact that they were funny. I mean, really funny. My girl's laughing. Yeah, I could hear her. "Really?" "I see where you get it." "Cabrona, you're gonna get it." Yeah. So the conversation is not going anywhere. So I said, "You know what? Let me just change the subject.
You
Let me
hear
just
it
try
or
to
no?
talk to this guy as a regular person, not trying
You
to
hear
meet him as my
what he's
dad."
saying?
So next thing I know, we got on the subject of entertainment, and that's something that we
Wait,
both
wait,
clicked
wait.
with because.
Do you hear what Gabriel Iglesias is saying? Yes, I know, because it's funny. Are you okay, bro? I like the structure of blocks. They're easy. I could use them to take the water out. So you want me to join you? Tomato. Want me to join you? Oh, so what do you want to play? What do you want to play? I have. What do you mean? Sure. Invite me.
Believe this.
Okay. So I'm gonna join. Okay, I'll join. You have to invite me. It won't let me join automatically. I did. It's loading. It's loading to the game. It won't let me join. It says unable to connect to the world. I mean, it's me, I think. It's my Wi-Fi. It's because I'm streaming, I think. Let me stop the stream.